Hi friends, welcome to Heart and Homestead with Dawn and welcome to our garden. I am outside today on a beautiful spring North Carolina day and we are doing more garden prep, so I wanted to bring you along for the journey. So if you're ready, let's get going. Here is the problem that we have is that in the fall we should have put down another layer of wood chips and we didn't because I was battling with lots of different viruses and stuff like that, and I just didn't have the energy with working outside of the home full time to come out here and do that. But you know, it's not horrible, it's just we have to get rid of some of these weeds. So today we're going to work on getting rid of a bunch of these weeds and then we're going to be planting. We did get the garlic and onions in the ground and they are doing really well, as you can see over here, but they need to be weeded too. So after we get everything in the ground, then we're going to put another layer of wood chips down and we should be good to go for the summer. So what we've got growing here are actually lamb quarters, and they're wild and they have taken over the garden. But we're not going to just weed them up. We are going to use them. So my husband Brendan is out here this morning and he is going to tell us a little bit about lamb corners and show you how to harvest them. And I'll show you what to do with them shortly. So here we have Erin. Hi, Erin. Hi. Erin is a neighbor and my husband Brendan. And Erin, what are you doing here?
We're getting some lamb's quarters today.
Erin is getting some lamb's quarters. Honey, why is she getting them?
Because they're good to eat and they're better than spinach and they have more iron than spinach.
Is that right? Have you ever had lamb's quarters before?
I haven't.
But you're willing to try it?
Yeah.
All right, let's get this show on the road.
All right, let's do it.
Sweet. What is that tool you have there?
Oh, it's just a good greens cutter. This is called a P2 5PS greens cutter. It is actually professional greens cutters. It's for lettuce and greens.
It's like a mini sickle?
It is. So I let these seed. Normally I wouldn't let this in over here, but I let these purposely seed because they're good. And these are small and tender and better than spinach and have more iron than spinach. And they're grown organically and they're not shipped in from anywhere. I don't have much success growing spinach for some reason. I have a green thumb with everything else but spinach. But these guys are better than spinach. And look at this. This is a whole patch of spinach. And they just grew on their own. And they just came on their own. They volunteered. They're called volunteers.
Well, Erin, what are you going to do with them?
Maybe we'll do a salad for lunch today. That would be awesome. I have some veggies in the fridge that we need to heat up anyway.
You're going to go with raw?
Maybe. I mean, I might do a little bit of raw. We're just starting purees with the baby.
Yay.
He's getting to the point where I just gave him some egg yolk today. So, you know, maybe I'll freeze some of it, maybe add it to a smoothie, maybe add it to a puree.
So many options.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just listen. That's why I love weeding. I feel like it's almost meditative for me. I come out here in the garden, I'm cleaning up, getting rid of all the bad weeds that want to strangle out my garden. Listen to the birds and commune with God while I'm doing it. So I better stop dreaming and I better start getting to it. So something I wanted to show you about weeding. A lot of people might think, oh, weeding is super easy thing to do. But it's really not, it's really something that you want to take your time with. That's why I just love weeding. There are weeds that are obvious that are above the ground. Some people make a mistake and just rip them up and don't get them out at the root. And then what ends up happening is the weed just keeps coming back. So we want to make sure that we get the weed at the root by digging down into the dirt and really grabbing hold of the bottom. Now see, and making sure that you get root on that weed. and that nothing broke off in the dirt. And then there are some weeds that are hiding underneath the mulch and you can't see them. And so you need to expose them in order to be able to really get your fingers dig down in there and get those weeds up at the root to make sure you don't leave anything behind. And then there are some weeds that the roots are just like really, really, really deep, and you need maybe to get some extra tools in order to get down into the dirt and get that whole root so that it doesn't grow back. So as I go through my garden looking for the weeds, I first identify the ones that are on the top that are easy to see, and then I brush the mulch away to expose the rest of them. And as I'm doing that, and as I'm ripping these weeds out from the root, I am ripping out weeds from my heart as well. Weeds that I know of, right? Like maybe unforgiveness or bitterness, or maybe something I'm struggling with that I want out of my life. And I'm naming them as I'm here ripping up these weeds. But then I'm realizing that there may be some weeds in my heart that I'm not even aware of. And I need to pray and ask the Lord to expose them so that I can make sure that I have the right equipment to get them out and to uproot them so that they don't grow back. So that was just a little something I wanted to share with you as I'm going through the weeding process. And let me tell you that when it's all done and I sit back and I look at how clean the garden is and get it ready for planting the things that I want in it, it's so rewarding. And it's not just rewarding from a garden perspective, but my heart is so much lighter, because with every weed that I pick up, well, maybe not every weed, but with all the different weeds that I'm picking up, I am weeding out things from my heart, from my life, from my family's life, from my children's life, from my friends' lives, and praying over people. And I just find it such an enjoyable thing to do. And it's a beautiful overcast day today too, so that's making it a little bit more enjoyable. Anyway, back to weeding. So I just finished weeding this one particular section. And the last thing I want to say about that with weeding is, my husband's grandmother had a saying, whatever you do, do with all your might. Things done by halves are never done right. And of course, in the Bible, it talks about that whatever you do, do unto the Lord, right? So, and that includes weeding. You can take a shortcut and you can make it look pretty by eliminating the weeds that you can see and not moving the mulch and getting the ones that are underneath the ground. But in the end, they're just going to pop up and you're going to have to go out there and weed them again. And it's kind of the same thing when it comes to the weeds of your heart. You can cover them up. You can cover up your emotions. You can cover up your fears. You can cover up your addictions. And you might look like you've got things together on the outside, but in the inside, you really don't. So don't do that. Reach out to somebody, be transparent, be vulnerable, and get those weeds dug up and uprooted out of your heart and out of your life so that you can sow good seeds into good soil and that will bear fruit 100-fold. All right, I'm going to show you what we're going to do next with the section that I just finished weeding. All right, guys, so now that I have successfully gone through here, not once, not twice, but 3 times, making sure that I got up all the weeds, the next step is we're going to get it ready for planting. So Brendan is going to go ahead and hammer in a spike, I guess. What do you call it, Bren?
A stake.
A stake. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to run a line, and this is how we make straight rows in the garden. And now he's just going to go ahead and run that line. straight across to the other spike or stake that he has already hammered into the other side. And that's it, guys. We just wrap it around that stake there, and then we're going to get our hoe and we're going to make a row. And I will show you that process as well. But this is one quick, fast, easy way to keep your garden neat and tidy when planting. All right, so the next step is making a row and following the line. And this is a simple process. Remember, we want to keep gardening simple so it doesn't become a deterrent. And again, have the right tools to make it easy. And so, what is that tool?
That's called a furrow hoe.
A furrow hoe.
It makes furrows.
Brendan doesn't have a microphone on right now, so I'm repeating.
Furrow hoe.
A furrow hoe. And so what he's going to do is the first time he goes through, he kind of just scores it. As you can see, he did over here on this side already. And then he goes back over it 2 or 3 times, making sure that he has it deep enough for whatever we're going to be planting, and also making sure that we're planting in the dirt and not the mulch. And what we're planting here is going to be...
We're planting eggplant and okra here. We have eggplants already in starts. They're called Black Beauty eggplants.
Okay.
And I think the okra are Clemson spineless okra.
We're taking a little bit of a break from weeding and gardening to come inside and have some lunch. And I just wanted to show you how we are using the lamb's quarters. We harvested a little bit for ourselves. I've washed some up and I have it here in a colander. And I'm going to show you how we're going to use it in our vegetable for lunch, in our dish for lunch today. All I'm doing is taking my leaves that I've already rinsed and rolling them up and then slicing them into ribbons. And then I'm going to add them to my onions that I have been sauteing for a little while. And we're going to cook them until they get tender. So you want to make sure that if you're cooking them with onions or garlic, that you go ahead and get those going first, to make sure that they're pretty well cooked before you add your greens. Now that I have my lamb's quarters all nicely chopped up, I'm just going to add them to the pot that I have, the pan that I have with the sauteed onions here. And we're going to let them cook until the lamb's quarters are tender. Cover it and let it steam for a little while. And while it's doing that, I will prepare the tomatoes. So the lamb's quarters have wilted nicely enough that I'm going to go ahead and add the chopped tomatoes now. And then I will cover it and let it simmer for a little while longer. So it's done. There is the sauteed onions with the lamb's quarters, tomatoes, some salt and pepper. That's all that's in that one. And then in this one here, we have some tri-colored quinoa. So we're just going to go ahead and add this to the quinoa. And then we'll top it off with some ground turkey for those people that want some extra protein, or beans for the people that are vegetarians. A fast, easy, delicious way to use your lamb quarters. Of course, you can use them raw and eat them in a salad too. Either way, get your greens in. They're good for you. Hope you enjoyed this little segment of Weeding the Garden. Well, guys, it's been a fabulous day out here. We started at around, I don't know, maybe 10 a.m., not too early. We took a little break to make our lunch using the lamb's quarters. We came back out and I want to show you our progress. I got all the weeding done in these rows between all of the plants. I still have some in the outer edge over there where you see that red bucket that I'm working on right now. And got all the weeding done in this section over here. I feel it's so rewarding. I just feel so accomplished. It was such a gorgeous day. Absolutely perfect for being out here and getting the garden prepped and ready. And we did get some planting done too. So I want Brendan to show you what we planted and how we planted it. Hi, honey.
Hi, how you doing?
How'd I do with the weeding?
You did excellent. We've got a clean slate now.
Yay. So what'd you do?
I planted 2 rows of vegetable seeds and starts.
Can you show us?
Yeah. So over here, and everything's labeled. There's a label at the end. I planted 5 pockets of okra, 2 feet apart. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, and then there's 5 right there. There's 5 sections of okra.
And so you planted them by seed?
By seed, direct seeding.
Okay. Yeah, so we're really excited to grow okra, you guys. We haven't grown it yet. And we're hoping that it's going to work. Please comment below and give us some recipes, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then what else do we have here?
So over here we grew these eggplant inside from seed in our sunroom, and they're ready to plant. So I planted 3 eggplant, 5 plus a little bit more feet apart, because this year I want to enjoy my garden. Last year everything was growing together like a jungle, and as you know, I've done ornamental landscaping, and I want everything to look good. So there's going to be beautiful bushes of eggplant, and they're not going to be on top of each other. They're going to be spaced far apart.
Yeah, I remember last year that the eggplant got these little white bugs on them that we identified later on as maybe potato beetles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
maybe spacing them out like this.
That's why I have them spaced. I couldn't get to them. Now I could take care of each one of these plants.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Okay, what else did we do?
So we planted some plum tomatoes. These are Rio Grande.
Mm-hmm.
They're good in the heat. And you canned how many jars of tomatoes last year?
Oh, I don't remember how many jars I canned last year, but I do enjoy canning
Again,
tomatoes.
these are spaced very far apart.
It takes 40 pounds of tomatoes to make 7 quarts of sauce.
Yeah.
So 40 pounds. And you see we did the same thing here, guys, with the line.
Yeah. Nice and straight.
To make nice straight rows.
And these garlic are going to be done in July.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some onions that will stay there all the way through the season with the tomatoes.
Fabulous.
But again, I'm spacing the tomatoes very far apart. And also the rows are going to be far apart. The rows are going to be 6 feet apart. We're going to have 3 rows of sauce tomatoes, sauce plum tomatoes, going kind of where those bamboo markers are over there.
Hard to see from here, but they're way at the end of the row there.
So you can see they're going to be spaced way apart, and the plants are going to be spaced way apart.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And then there's one last thing that I want you to show everybody what you're working on over here.
So we got to plant beans somewhere, but there wasn't any spots for it. So we've got wheat fabric here to keep out the Bermuda grasses from our garden. So I burned a hole every 2 feet. Can you show the
tool that you used to burn that hole?
Maybe if I could find it.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a bean right in there.
It's behind you by the watering can.
Oh, there it is. So this is just a butane torch. And let's see if it'll work now. 1, my foot's about a foot. So 2, that's it. Made a hole.
Look at that. Can you do it one more time so
Maybe,
I can?
but we're actually running out of propane.
Is that refillable?
It is. I have a refill in the truck.
Look at that. How easy is that?
And there's lines already on this wheat fabric, so excellent.
And so then what do? You just pop a seed in there?
Well, I'm going to put some kind of a screwdriver or something just to rough it up a little and throw a little fertilizer on and just drop a seed in there, and it'll be weed free.
That's fabulous.
All summer.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what we have for today's video, guys. I hope that this encourages you to get out, get some sunshine on your face, get your garden weeded, take small steps to growing your own food and medicine. If you like this video and you aren't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, please like, please share, and please comment. If you have any questions, This guy right here is the expert. I am just the worker bee, but he is the expert behind everything that we do here. And I will link ways that you can contact him below in addition to our website. Until next time, blessings.